Hello, beautiful people. It's a very, very sunny Sunday here from the city of Belfast, United Kingdom. Yeah, I'm 2 minutes early to this program because I need to give credit to these amazing guys that are joining on board today. You see, these guys are very punctual, and I feel I have to come, even if it's just going to be 1 minute earlier, in order to actually, hear that out, because these people are very busy people. Trust me, their schedule is quite tight, They could just give an excuse and say, yeah, they are coming late and all, but they've been the one hinting me, yeah, 10 minutes to go, whatnot, what and so. Yeah, it's your boy Dimeji Shodeka again, and you're welcome to Street and Cathedral. Today's gonna be an interesting session, and believe me, these guys today are gonna blow your mind. You let the talk do justice, but I'm telling you, these guys are super, super, super brilliant. So I'm just gonna be inviting them. Yeah, I seen one. And really want to, miss that schedule. And I really, really appreciate that about you guys. Thank you very much for the honor, for coming on this program, for actually also, putting this into your schedule to render your voice. And I know you guys have tight schedule. I know you personally, and I know. And permit me to say this also before I now throw the floor open. I don't know if it is safe to say this. Both of you are guys that I love so much.
Thank you so much.
No homo intended. I think you guys, your guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I don't use that word. I don't use that word. I love you guys so much, and I respect you.
We love you too, and respect you, and what you are doing, we respect it. We respect you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So this is Ojebola Mathew. Ojebola Mathew has been a senior colleague of mine when I was studying at Nigerian Institute of Journalism. I have known Ojebola Mathew to be a proactive, even student leader. He has been in line of leadership ever since I've known him. Ojebola Mathew has always been this person who contributes his voice to activism, to positive things, and trust me, I have also actually learned from him directly when it comes to taking risk, having this lion heart to actually push for your dream. I would remember one of his words when I was still having to study him closely. He said something one day and told me that, I cannot do stuff for anybody. I used to categorize that as, say, this guy does they proud or something. But I'm this kind of person. I like to learn from people. But closely, I realized that he's not just talk. He's actually working. He has dreams. He understands himself. And I think he got to know himself very early. He knows what he wants out of life. And Ojebola Mathew has also been part of politics, winning team. The reason why Ojebola Mathew is on this, I believe, is rightly supposed to be for this topic, is because not too young to rule. Ojebola Mathew is part of. He came from a state where we have mass youth rulership. That's Oyo State, and he was part of the winning team. He was the former senior special assistant to the Honorable House Speaker. Am I right?
Yeah, the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Adebo.
Yeah. So
wow.
And I can't spread his accolades all because it will require a different program for that. So this is Ojebola Mathew. We call him Prime Minister. So you're welcome on board. And
Thank you very much,
topic on his introduction. He is actually my in-law. So he was bold enough to walk up and tell me he wants to date my cousin. Imagine my own guy.
Okay, in-law, are we still bringing that in today? I think we should save it.
just to let us know the titles.
All right, it's fine.
On the
Thank
other
you.
hand, this is Mr. Olasupo Abideen. You see, this
Thank you, sir.
amazing brother, I met him in Egypt, but the connection we built over then, you would think we've actually known years before then. You know, what I studied about him is his way of humility, and he's an enigma.
You are my Ghana.
No, to be honest,
actually, the me seeing his face, I can remember some of the pictures you posted while you were in Cairo. So, but the only difference is that he's more chubby now, and I can see the.
He's a married man.
Prime Minister, Prime Minister.
I think that's just the difference, because him coming online, it wasn't just difficult to pick the face that, okay, I think I've met this person before, and I'm very sure it's not from my dreams.
And you see, his record.
My pleasure, my brother.
His record span across United Nations, African Union, and this is me being you.
That's wonderful.
Tony Elemelu, and like this brother. To be honest, see, I don't want to get emotional in this introduction.
Don't cry.
He's someone who, there's one thing I just appreciate about him, and I'm saying it to his face right now. You see, there's a difference between when people actually are there and they are actually, you have this expectation of an attitude where you can't even approach them, you can't even learn from them, you can't even tag Olasupo never for once, I promise you, he has never ever for once made anyone feel less of a human being. And this is a man that his story is amazing, is inspirational, and he has an heart for humanity. He's been doing that thing that we called selfless service to humanity, just like you, Ojebola. So that's why I felt like you guys are the perfect voice for this topic. Well, to add topic to Olasupo's introduction, he was caught red-handed like this with the banner "Not Too Young" with Senator Bukola Saraki. In fact, in 2018, I believe that was when the bill was passed. So I saw him also fly that banner, part of his activity. So I felt like, okay, this is the man, this is the perfect voice, and you guys are so welcome on this program.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. We appreciate you too. And a time is coming, we are still going to be the host. We are going to say so much about your personality and your leadership attributes. You have always been a wonderful person. But let's go on so we don't keep people waiting.
Thank you very much.
All right.
This is Street and Cathedral. You're welcome officially to this space. This is a space where I have to be honest with you. This is a God-given space to me. Upon my meditation, I started to think, what is the way forward, and how best can we initiate? How best can we actually render our voice to what is going on, to the antecedent going on in Africa, in our country, and at large. So I realized that must we wait before we become the so-called tag and untag, the celebrity, for our voice to be heard on things that actually affect us directly. So I sat down and I felt like, okay, street should be the voice of the common people, the voice of the masses, the voice of what we call the humans that have been affected by policies, by governments, shenanigans, whatever you call it. And I, for one, I know intelligent people, just like you guys, that I'm very certain that the so-called celebrity itself, when we weigh the intelligence, side by side, we will question why some people are really tagged celebrity. But that is not the conversation for today. And I believe that everybody has the right to talk about what affects them, what affects them directly as human beings. And Cathedral on the other side is just a spiritual alignment that we must respect, that every man aligns to one religion. Believe me, if I had been a traditional worshiper, it might have been street and shrine. If I had been a Muslim, it might have been street and Mecca. But because I am being honest and I'm a Christian and I don't intend to change, it is straight and cathedral. I have been on the show where I had Kaltumi Abdulaziz. I know Olasupo knows Kaltumi. She's a Muslim, and I had Felix Luje from Cameroon. Felix now aligns with traditional worship. I have no problem with that. As long as we are African, we have that heart for humanity, we can have a conversation. Because at the pedestal of intellectual conversation, religion should not be, a form of, isolation and mistrust. We should have been able to be intellectual enough to surpass that segregation. So,
of course.
Welcome officially to street and cathedral, sirs.
It's an honor. Thank you very much.
The topic before us is not too young to rule. Not too young to rule. And I'm going to throw the question open. And let's pick the question from the historical context. So let us take a look at let's take a glance at the Nigeria's political evolution. At age 43, the prime minister back then was Alhaji Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. And when we look at the traces of those people that have led us from those time, from those period, we realize that they were at their youth age, or their youth age per se. But something happened along the line that even youth could not ascend to rule anymore. So we don't understand why our historical context seem to entertain youth, and now the argument is not too young to rule. So can we take that conversation from there at what could have actually played as a catalyst towards why youth could rule back then, and now we have an argument or an appeal. We need to try to now start pushing bill that are not too young to rule from the historical context. So I think let's go by punctuality. Let's Prime Minister first go, then you come after.
That's fine. Over to you, Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, my dear brother and colleague in progress, Okwe Gugu. It's a good time to be with you on this platform. Thank you, Dimi, for this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. When we talk of not you too young to rule, me and you and some other interested personalities that are young people, we've actually talked about this over and over again. You understand? Starting from the history, which you've made mention, there is something must actually be built. Nothing is actually built on nothing. You must build something on something. So when we talk of history, the people that had the opportunity to govern Nigeria at their young age of even 20s, I think the late Pa Anthony Enahoro, which he moved the motion for Nigerian independence. I think later Anthony Enahoro became a federal representative at the age of 27. So, and then we had head of states. We had Muritala, that was, I think, 32, 33, when he became the head of state of Nigeria. I think the reason behind that is that, as at then, we know you need formal education to be able to some certain level of qualification to attain some certain position. So when you look at 1960, early 1960, 1970, formal education was still at its elementary stage, so to speak. Education was introduced to us with colonialism. So you can see that those were the set of people that had the opportunity to participate in formal education. I emphasize on the word formal education because some people will say illiterate literacy. I have the opinion that there is no one that is an illiterate, because you must actually know something. There is a form of communication. There is there is a way in which you earn your living. There is a way in which you contribute to the society. And with what we have now, we can actually say that what data was even practiced and obtainable then is looking more better and brighter than what we have now.
Hmm.
So I think the reason behind having that crop of leaders as at that time was that they were the one that actually they have
Like
access to
they were the
education.
pioneers. They were the
Yeah,
pioneers of
they were
the
the
first
pioneer of formal
beneficiaries to.
education as at that time.
Hmm.
So we had the Awolowo. After their elementary education here in Nigeria, they were sent to abroad to study law, to study political science. You understand? So coming back, these are people that are our own, let's say, grandfathers, great grandfathers. They have high hope in them that, okay, these are the people that have seen the length and breadth of the world.
Okay.
And there's so much belief in them that, okay, these are the people that can take us to the next level in terms of administration. But what we have now, we have a lot of formal education. We have these old people that are still in competition.
Ojebi,
You understand?
Ojebi.
So,
Don't drag
yeah.
it down here before. For now,
Okay.
I want Okpe to jump in this conversation now. And Okpe, I'm going to
All
give you a
right.
follow-up question too. Okpe, pick it up from that historical context. And now, there's a conversation I got from Twitter, which says that, they said the emergence of this youth political engagement could be linked to global digital revolution, like maybe the access youth have to internet and all. That was what brought the global enlightenment. Why people now started knowing their rights and say, oh, this is what is obtainable in this other world. This is what we should have, we should be experiencing here. Our leaders are cheating us. This is what they experience in Sweden compared to UK and all. So take it from that historical context from where he was talking from, brush over that, and let us go to, is it true that global digital revolution is actually linked to all this emergence of.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dimeji, and I sincerely appreciate you for having me. I quite understand how consistent you've been as far as this program is concerned, and I sincerely appreciate your transparency in talking about, the spiritual hangover, which is what a lot of people shy away from. And it has always been a conversation that I've been having with people that we are wholly privileged. Hi, Prime Minister, you. There are thousands and thousands of people who are better than us in the field that we have, but with the glory of the God, we are here today. And thank you so much for bringing higher my Oga, the Prime Minister, to share space with him and share insight. So straight up, banking on what he has said is especially setting the tone for the historical background, which I quite agree with absolutely. The history of the Not Too Young to Run campaign is also an history of dedication and consistency. I think I need to put that on the table as well. Because the first time we pushed for this, it never worked as well. But the young person with, the 3C, I always tell people, the Not Too Young to Run is built on the 3C. When I say C, A, B, C. Competency, capacity, and character. For example, you can't be coming to me and tell me because you're young, of course, that's the only liberty for me to vote for you in office. So banking on what you talk about the digital revolution, we are all in the digital world. Either we like it or not, digital is the new oil. And that's what I tell people. You either flow in line with it or, of course, you are swept off. That's the reason why, issues around artificial intelligence is witnessing a front burner now. Everybody's talking about AI because it's the next big thing. AI in anything you do. So during those olden days when youths do not have a seat at the table, because that's what I tell us, we currently do not have a seat at the table before Not Too Young to Run was passed. How can we do it in such a way that, let's dismantle that table?
No, wait.
So that when the table is being
Wait. I'm coming. We used to run things.
Mhm.
Something happened.
Yeah.
Was it that we were shifted away from not coming to have the table?
To be realistic, it's like an intellectual play game because there was a particular time that to contest for political offices in Nigeria is all about the qualification you had. Like Prime Minister said, they were given free scholarship, they were sent abroad for the best of education. So our forefathers trusted them. it got to a point that, our population was becoming much more, according to what they always say, which I personally do not believe anyways. They said we are over 200 million population now. But either we like it or not, we are millions, to be honest, because of course, that data itself calls for question. The last census we did, that we have not done anyone till now, but that's not the subject of conversation. We used to be at the table. What happened that we are not at the decision-making table? The issues of, a whole lot of people having access to the same quality of education that few people had access to then was there. Secondly, as well, our politicians intentionally inject poverty into the broad stream of the Nigerian population. Because, of course, it's like the Yorubas will always say, so intentionally, they know that if poverty is in our bloodstream, they will monopolize the political landscape and monetize it in such a way that even if you have the intellectual capacity, you have the exposure, you have the experience, or you have the head to really do good, and you do not belong to the so-called cabal, or you do not have the financial wherewithal to contest for political elections, you are automatically hedged out. So in the long run, it is what the Yorubas will always call Bangbala Shata. Because either we like it or not, without being economical with the truth, from that political dispensation till now, our election has been monetized heavily in such a way that even if you have that needed capacity and experience and exposure and you do not have the financial competency, it's not going to work. And, like I said, injecting poverty into our bloodstream is intentional because they know that if we are putting poverty within, maybe when elections is coming, they will be able to lure us with 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira to say we should sell our future of the next 4 years or the next 8 years. So if the situation is in such a way that everybody has access to pipe-borne water, have access to electricity, have access to internet, good and quality education without knowing anybody, you can get a job. Believe you me, Nigerians are creative people, they are intelligent and smart people. People will be able to think on their own and say, oh, fine, this government is not bringing the manifesto that is needed. And of course, we trust our young person to occupy that offices. But while we are still talking about this not too young to run, Dimeji, I know you're going to get there because you're a very smart person. I think there's a need for us to talk about our young people as well.
Wait,
Okay.
wait.
Before you go there.
Please, I'm not cutting you. I want you to hold on because I'm coming there. When you said competence, I've started already. So youth competency, because what you are about to talk about, I'm ready to link it to Fela Durotoye and the last. We are coming there properly. But I'm going to take you on your word, and I want you to give me 2 minutes to think on it. Why Prime Minister is taking this next question. I'm going to take you on your word. What you mean by census? The last census calls for questioning. So I'm coming for you. Let me take you on. I can see you smiling. So Prime Minister Baba, is it right now to say from all this conversation now that I would say is it not too young to run or not too broke to run? Let's have that conversation now. Let's throw it to the table like that now. Is it not too young to run or not too broke to run?
Okay, I will take this as practical as possible. From my experience in electoral participation and political communication, my brother here is right to a large extent, talk about how expensive it is to actually run for an election and win in Nigeria. But I'll still emphasize that maybe it's what he was trying to say when he's about to mentioning the youth in particular. Yeah, I would say something is that one, the first issue, the first challenge we have is ourselves, the young people. If all these Baba that will say they are old, when they want to start, they will first demoralize you with what? With their history, how they started politics. When you are agitating, you are so like, okay, no, we no go gree, this person must stand. This is our candidate, either APC, PDP, whatever P you are. Like, okay, this is our candidate. He's a young person, he's vibrant, he's intelligent, he must represent us. When they want to start, they will start with Igbo Leyiwa. Where were you guys? Where we were selling handkerchief and broom to sponsor election in 19 Kiniko with Action Group. What I'm saying is that what is the level of participation among our youths? How many of our youths are ready to take up leadership? everything in socialization, everything, the first unit of socialization is family.
Yeah.
How many of our youth can be called upon now to resolve a common dispute within their family and they are going to have a solution? So we have a challenge with youth not willing to participate in administration. Everybody just wants to make money. They don't know that, like I was telling some people some few days ago.
Was the system not
I said,
designed? Was the system not designed for certain youths to fail?
the system not designed for what?
For youths to fail.
Well, like he said, that poverty is a weapon in the hand of the politician. I agree to that to a large extent. But I must tell you that power, success, there's nowhere in the world that is being handed over on a platter of gold. It's either you earn it or you take it by force. Even, I don't know, like you said about religion, I think the Bible made it clear that the kingdom of God, as beautiful, as interesting, as lively as the eternal resting place as described in the Bible. He said this same kingdom of God has suffered violence.
And only the
And the
violence
violence do what? He taketh it by
Okay,
force.
please hold your thoughts for me. Let me come to Okwe now. Okwe, I have two questions for you. Which one you are going to share with Prime Minister? The latter. The opening question for you is, I want you to elaborate for us why you feel or you said that since the last census calls for questioning about the number. Was the number hiked? For what purpose? And the question both of you are going to share now is as regards youth competency. You know, that was a big conversation about youth. Their competency, is it questionable or they are not even allowed into the dance? Into the dance. They are not invited to the
Thank you very
dance.
much for that brilliant question, Mr. Dimeji. And on population census, of course, we all need to throw this open as well for those who are watching and who are listening to us. During the last population census, when the census official came to your house, how many son or daughter did you tell them that you have given birth to? Answer that question. I don't need you to comment in the chat box. Then even in that your community, that's the reality. In that community, how many schools did you have access to? When was the time that when they were coming, they lied that they never had a TV? Or, you know the reason why people lie for that population census? One, people think government wanted to be taxing them. And as a result of that, if they declare some of the amenities in their room, they will get taxed. Two, community thought the more they give that burgeoning number, that is what is going to attract government intervention to their side. So as a result of that, no transparency and accountability, no monitoring and evaluation framework to really determine precisely and categorically the number of Nigerians that we have. The same people who is 16 years old, according to research I conducted, were telling people he has given birth to 10 children, giving having 2 wives. Like how practical? It's just normal common sense. So if you are really a serious country, you see, issues around data is not something that we should joke with, because that's what attracts development. For example, I need to be able to say that as a Nigerian, this is the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria. I don't know. The joke is on our leader, not on me. UNICEF will be giving you a data, whereas the Ministry of Education and Suburb will be giving you another conflicting data. It has even happened in this country that 2 different federal agencies are giving you 2 different data. Is that a country that is serious about development? Then again, I will mention the secretary of a particular political party, out of playing politics a few days ago, talk about the fact that NBS data is rubbish. Just because you want to get a political sympathy, you are rubbishing an agency of government that is in charge of development, then believe you me, we are not serious. Since 2006, if I'm not mistaken, to date, no population census has been conducted. Then the only thing we throw around is we are a country of over 200 million population. I leave you with that reflections, DBG. Second one.
Yeah, thank you for that justice.
In
So let's move to
terms of youth competency.
Yeah.
Sincerely, it's something that makes me cry a whole lot, because anytime we talk about give us as young person the opportunity to represent, there is even a particular governor that is a disgrace to the youthful population. I won't mention him again, but we all know, who served as a young governor and is running Ethan and Scatter for the EFCC now. So if a template of that will be used to judge majority of the youth, then of course they won't give us that platform. But if we are to use a template of saying, my brother who just served as the special assistant to the Right Honorable Speaker is a young person as well, and is not doing bad as far as my assessment of his person is concerned. Oyo State, as given youthful population. Kwara State has done that. More other states are trying to incorporate more young persons into offices. But I'm so sorry to say, I call that tokenism. It is tokenism because what fraction of young person are being engaged? Then it brings me back to the basic question of competency. We as youth need to work a whole lot. And I tell people, forget about it. If you are thinking about that there will be a time when every of the youth will work together and we say, yes, that will never, it has never happened in any world and it will never happen. The way the nation is wired to think is different from the way Okoyemi is wired to think, is different from the way Prime Minister is wired to think. The reason why we are aligning today is because as active citizens, we want betterment of our country and we believe so much in the youth power. Some people might not believe in that, and this is democracy. They are at liberty to, their own opinion and views and perspective as well. So a kind of young person that are not eating will be a tool for the politicians to carry gun that their son or daughter cannot carry to get things done. But what I do personally is, aside the fact that I learn, relearn, and unlearn, I ensure that I'm a member of a political party. Because the Yorubas will always say, oh, Simbe Oniba will not shebe me. I jump from my ward level, attend ward meeting, then not only that as well, yeah, I ensure that I get certifications and online courses that could increase and improve my leadership skills, communication skills, political involvement skills. The day that will work for me, I don't know yet. But of course, I kept on investing and investing in myself for the knowledge that will be productive for me in the long run. So we can't continue to shout, we no go green, when we don't have that competency to really push for some of these issues and thought and opinion that will stand the test of time and will be sustainable. Because when we are called to that table, if the kind of ideas we are bringing to that table is how we are going to be sharing money, then we are a disgrace to this generation.
Let me push this in. And Prime Minister, I want you to take it up. Okay. Competency too, from the previous agitation that raised our hope when everybody was actually supporting this not too young to run bill now. I remember many icons like Wole Soyinka, Femi Falana and likes actually supported this movement and all. But then we had a political party. Then we had Fela Yemi, and one way or the other, these people could not even agree within the political party, within the same political party, who should go for president and who should step down as vice. So let's move away from the competency of Mr. Okoyemi. Let's go to the competency of let's get the result done, regardless of who's number one. Look, I don't have a problem if Prime Minister calls me now and says, Dean, I want you to work for me. I've just got this appointment. Why should I want to be the number one at every instance? I don't have a problem when Okoyemi becomes the governor of Kwara State and says, I want to appoint Dimeji to come and be a senior special assistant to media. Why should I want to be the governor when I can play my role well and make sure that his administration runs smoothly? So let us talk about that competence in that aspect now. Both of them feel they are competent enough. So we are not even speaking about enlightenment now. Okay. We are talking about competence in leadership, effectiveness.
Dimeji, thank you for that intervention. Thank you for bringing that on board. I think the most important thing, what you have done just now is that you are starting to hit the nail on the head. Like you just said, we are talking about leadership, but a lot of young people, our youth, are focusing on seats and position. You can be a leader in your capacity as a special advisor to so and so and so. You can be in position of leadership as the head of your community. When I talk about not too young to rule, I'm not talking in only in the concept or in the context of being elected as governor, being elected as president. When we talk of political participation, the likes of Fela Durotoye, the likes of Showore, did they rise through the political the political session? You understand? They gain their popularity from from different aspects. You understand? Which is not political. You can maintain your leadership in that area, coordinate, and make sure what is happening there is sanity and the youths are involved in that area. You can contribute to enthroning a competent youth with integrity. Fela Durotoye he's a motivational speaker, he has a large crowd. When he say 18, people will say, wow, someone is speaking in that area. In terms of business, entrepreneurship, and the likes. We know Sowore to be into the media, you understand? So when you say, okay, we have a young person that is involved in politics and is coming up. My brother Titilayo Agrobet just made a comment about God Federalism. You understand? You know, when you look into it, like my brother has said about the said governor that is etasketa with EFCC. When you look into it, okay, how did this certain person came into power? Is it not a product of these people that you say, okay, are they not the one that presented him to us? So they just look at, okay, who can we compromise? Who is with us? Who can do our biddings and present them to us as what? As youth
state
candidates.
Puppets, like deep state puppets.
Do you understand? That's when we talk of competency, it's not only about competency. You may have the capacity, but do you have the integrity? Can you stand and look into people's face, either old or young? Can you stand and speak to power?
Can you resign?
What we are after is a better society. It's not just.
When it calls for your
it's not even
your integrity.
Yes, it's not even. We are not seeking only a better environment or a better society for the youth. We are seeking a country that can serve both young, old, even the unborn child. That's our advocacy.
Now, I'm going to take you from there, and I want Okwe to jump from what you just said now. And I think this Mr. Titilayo, I thought the person was a woman. Adebanjo Titilayo, I said it, and I wrote it down as part of.
No, he's a he. He's a very known person, and is an advocate of progress, and is with us.
Yeah, big shout out to you, Mr. Adebanjo Titilayo. I go best. Yeah, big shout out to you. Now, my question is this: let's talk about the political culture of godfatherism. The political culture of godfatherism, which I think it's a direct antithesis to not too young to run. Because now, you know, let me paint a picture now. Someone comes out of his neighborhood, gather youth, gather people, start posting pictures, posters, goes to an unknown political party, start, speaking to people what he wants to do, what he wants to start, and saying, I want to contest. I have an example of that, of a guy that did that in Ibadan.
Okay.
I want to contest. This guy did the proper thing when it comes to campaigning, the expected thing. Went to schools, did the normal thing, but he didn't win the election. We know what happened. I know. Let me tell you, a lot of people are reason because some people will say, "Koti wa bawa, Koti you get." So let's talk about that political culture and godfatherism as a direct antithesis to not too young to run. Do you think there could be a way in order to actually, pierce through this mighty wall, that godfatherism itself?
Okay, thank you very much. I think my answer is going to be in two ways. If we want us to say what people want to listen to, I will answer you. But if you want us to be practical, we also answer. What people want to listen to. So, the reality of the Nigerian political landscape calls for, a strategy that, is peculiar to even each particular zone or each particular state. Because in Nigeria today, it takes a lot of steps before you say you get the mandate of even any political party to run for office. It goes from the ward level, delegates from the ward level, elect from the local government level, from the local government as well to the constituency level as well, especially if you are looking at parliament. So if you have gotten it wrong from the ward level, without having those who buys into your manifesto, who buys into your idea, then definitely you are going to lose it at the local government level because it's like a chain. The ward is linked to the local government. The local government is linked to the zone. Then the zone sometimes is the zonal area is linked to the state. Then the state has to do with geopolitical zone. So if, for example, the Meji wants to contest for presidency in the year 2031, The Major must have started his own work now, maybe since 2023 general election, strategizing, ensuring that the caliber of people that will be the delegates that will be elected will be a part of those who believe so much in the Godfathers as well. You know, they have been in politics for a whole lot of time, and this is why I'm discouraging younger generation. We are asking for participation, but don't because you want to participate in politics, then turn yourself to political jobbers in such a way that you don't have any source of income. You don't have anything you are doing other than to say, oh, fine, oh, the only source of income I have is, you know, politics. Believe you me, that one of the problems that we have in the society. The reason why Godfatherism continues to thrive is because majority of these older generations have nothing doing aside this politics. So they are ready to die here against all odds to ensure that whatever their wish looks like. When we are pushing for not too young to run, we push for two things. We said, reduce the age to contest for political posts, because democracy is all about inclusion, democracy is all about participation, and democracy is all about involvement. And if democracy is all about participation, then you then edge out the younger population that contributes more than 50% to the whole Nigerian population, because we have the numbers. So we could have had the numbers as well and still be edged out due to different reasons. We now said, give us independent candidates, so that even without political party, I'm able to run as Dimatis and win election, or as prime minister, or as a farcical. Even for you to win, to get tickets in a political party, you spend millions of naira without an assurance that you're going to get it. Now, it's also a discouragement. Yeah, it's also a discouragement to a whole lot of young people to say, oh, fine, you actually still participate. I've been doing this. I spent about 10 million naira the last time. Nothing came out of it.
People that have been attacked with poverty on their own.
That is it. So, regardless of whatever we say here, it will take a little bit of time for us to curb Godfatherism in our political system, to be honest. It's going to be a gradual process. Because you can't just wake up one day and say no to Godfather. What are the strategies you have put in place to say no to Godfather? What are the strategies? What is the constitution of the party saying? How many number of young people do you have at your own side to have the needed number that will push for that kind of stuff? The same category of youth that will be sponsored as Iran to abuse you on Facebook and Twitter. The same category of youth as well. No, that's the reality. That could abuse the age mate of their father, and as a result of that, the older generation are saying young persons are rude, and as a result of that, they're not trying to give us space. Yorubas will always say, for those who understand Yoruba, and you know, if we need to systematically be a part of this process very well, we've got to also use IQ beyond the fact that we know that we have the energy as younger population. The person you want to hedge out needs to be systematically hedged out with critical reasoning by a form of lobbying, even for not too young to run to pass. We lobby the whole lot. We lobby the parliament to get two-thirds. We lobby the state house of assembly as well. So lobbying is an essential part of strategy that as a young person, we need to introduce to ensure that issues around Godfatherism will come to pass. I will only be lying to you if I say, no, don't worry, by next election, there won't be any Godfather. I don't say that. Or by next election, our political landscape will not be monetized. In a country where a lot of people are poor, in a country where petrol sells for almost 800 naira and things are hard, and a bag of rice is 75,000 naira, a lot of families could not afford it, then we are joking, to be honest.
Prime Minister, the same question, but I want to add, I want to take it higher now. The same question of Godfatherism. Now, the American political landscape now is experiencing what African political landscape is experiencing. Before, we used to see young taps coming in as president. Now we are seeing the Joe Biden, which is an unlikely game scenario that plays in America. So what do you think about this Godfatherism syndrome going on in politics right now? And do you really think that with this Godfatherism as a word, not too young to rule as a chance at all, or it is dead on arrival?
Well, what I'll say about that is that when we talk of Godfatherism, I would say sometimes our people get things wrong. Just like you made mention of a case of someone that was contesting election in Ibadan. You know, we have a lot of young people that will just wake up from their dream, see themselves on the seat of parliament or on the seat of whatever position they dreamt of. They start sharing posters, doing all sorts of things, and thinking one day they are going to become whatever. Obama was involved. I think he was a senator, do a lot of things involved before he became a president. Even Joe Biden we are talking about. They all have what? Antecedents. They all participated. They move from certain step to another, certain step to another. Do you understand? So I will cite an example of someone that I know in my own local government, Ward 1. If some of my people are with me now, they can testify to this. I won't mention names. He's not rich, but whenever he's coming, travel is coming, or you go to the market, he will buy onions, or he buy a goosey. He will go to his house and call the women. He will share onions to them. He will share a goosey to them. It's not giving them millions. It's not giving them thousands. But there's no politician, no matter how high and mighty you are, you enter his house and seek his consent for whatever you want to do in that particular world. You understand? It's not about the millions they come with on the election day. It's not about
influence he has on people.
You understand? But the challenge we are having is that every Kosibi, like Yoruba will say, Kosibi to atin ko e di ale by enkolo yato. There's nowhere that does not have its own cultural setup or norms. You understand? The word, like I used to tell people, the word corruption is an English word. It's not a Yoruba word. It's not an African word.
So
You cannot tell me and say Africans are
they must be
corrupt
familiar to
and the West are saints.
Yeah.
You understand? So when you say corruption, it's an adopted word. We are the one that started interpreting it and find a suitable word for it in our local dialects and languages. You understand? Say, okay, what can fit corruption? Let's say Ijekuje, Abiji, or GPT. You understand? Whatever language you understand. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in the actual sense, what I'm saying is that no matter what, there will be people that will lack. There are people that want more.
Yeah.
But as a young person, what are you doing? In what capacity are you? We have a socio-cultural setup. As I speak to you, you are aware, Dimeji. As a student leader, you have people that will come to you. You know how many school fees of students will pay while at the Nigerian Institute of Journalism? That will come to you that they have this challenge, they have that challenge. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I have brothers that are doing well now, doing their masters, doing their whatever, that are outside the country, that are within the country, that are earning 6-7 figures, that personally have either contributed or even fully paid their school fees before. Do you understand? It's an act of humanity. Such person, I don't know how much you want to give him to vote for you in the nearest future. Do you understand? That's why I said a lot of young people have negated the area of mentorship, the area of contributing to the society. We just say, okay, all we just think about is that, okay, you want to make money. You make the money, all you think about is you want to be flashy, you want to live in a luxury apartment, drive luxury cars. What are you doing to the environment which you are from or which you live? It's those people that will grow to become armed robber. It's those people that will grow to become political thug. We talk of Feladuro Koye, we talk of Showore, we talk of these people. Okay, I know people that have worked with certain persons around them. Do you understand? What are these people as, okay, let's say young people, how are you mentoring them? Before you come out and say you want to be governor, you want to be president. Someone has been sharing laptop since 2003. He has been sharing laptop, contesting on the platform of unpopular political party. Now he comes in 2019. That people that I gave laptop, people that I gave bursary, people that I paid their school fees, 50,000, 100,000, way back as 2023, 2003 rather. What are you saying? He has made a statement.
Yeah.
It's not just about just waking up, you say you are young, and you want to contest. You have integrity. Integrity to hell. This is Africa. There is poverty. What are you doing? I'm not saying we are talking of a long-lasting solution. If you pay someone school fees, you contribute to someone's life, and someone make it in life. He's feeding his family. I have a brother that just through the family contribution and whatever, he succeeded and gave an abode. A younger brother to me is someone you know, Dimi. He finished from Funab. He gave a befitting abode to his mother. What are you saying? How much do you want to give that woman? And the son says, don't go that way. What if we let it out? The day this my brother was calling me saying, okay, I can actually say that should be around 2012 or 2011. He was calling me, gain an admission from a free jam scholarship we did. I said, bro, I don't have money, but let's arrange and see what can happen. We arranged, I made some calls, I pushed some buttons, and someone just volunteered. I said, you've paid the acceptance fee. He says, yes, 21,000. Okay, how much is tuition fee? He said, 36,000. Funab is a federal university. And someone gave him, I think, 59,000 or so. And the person who owns the filling station, he even assured him that anytime you are on holiday, come here and work for me. I will pay you.
Okay, okay.
He's now a man on his own now. So how many of our young people are doing all these things? And you just wake up one day, you just say you want to run for position, you want to go to House of Rep, you want to go to House of Assembly, and you are saying he's not young, not too young to run. My brother, what were you doing? Were you running before? You were sitting down, but it now comes to bylaws. You want to run, you are painting poster. Is that how they vote for people? Go and check the profile, check Trump, check Joe Biden. Go and check their record when they were in the house. Don't they make contribution to their community?
Of course. As a matter of fact, it will even be your record that will be your booster or your downfall. So people are making reference to Kamala Harris record now, based on what she neglected, what she did, what she looked away from at all. So you are on point, and I understand that sometimes this kind of question can actually get us emotional. Why? Because we are not just speaking from a far-fetched angle. We are speaking as people who are actually also part of this system.
I can actually get angry.
What?
On issues like this, I can actually get angry.
I know.
I always told you. Yes, I don't want to. I think like 2 days ago we were speaking. I told you I don't want to be the Dangote.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the of my. I'm not thinking about it. I just want to be like my provost while I was in school. He called me one day. He said, "You make a lot of trouble." He said, "What exactly do you want? What is your dream? What do you want to be in life?" Imagine you are a life witness. You know about all these things. I thought that I said, I just want to be a good man, and that is it. If I sit you as a provost, will I be the provost? But what we are clamoring on is that this is wrong. This is not actually what you told us. This is not actually what the school told us. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. We are talking. If we have competent youth on board, nobody will be talking about not too young to rule. Like my brother Ashwaju Fakorede Shehu, the former commissioner for youth and sport in Oyo State, and is now the executive assistant to the Oyo State governor. He will say there's nothing like a young commissioner. There's nothing like a young governor. A governor is a governor. A commissioner is a commissioner. If you are delivering, is when they look at you, they see there are some lacuna, or they just want to rubbish you. They introduce you as a young a young entrepreneur. What's the meaning of that?
Okay. Let me continue. Let me continue, Prime Minister. Let me continue. And I think you need to take that water again. You see, now we are calling it a wrap. Quite unfortunate, I know that this topic is spend 2 hours on it, but I know that we are quite busy people, and I wouldn't want to stretch. I would want to stretch it beyond what I requested. But before I ask the last question, we could see you've actually touched the economic order I wanted to ask about, which is a very, very serious thing that is affecting many people. I feel it is not justifiable to look at it from one angle that youths are not actually willing or capacitated. Look, about poverty, I don't know, but person will never poor before. I don't think has a right to talk about poverty and hunger. Person, I repeat them. The day Shehu Kuti said, I listen to Shehu Kuti, I love it. Big shout out to him. I even wanted to come up. But the day Shehu Kuti said it innocently, and he said it honestly, I respect him. He said he has never been poor in his life. And the day he was even broke, that he has no money. He's recently, when he started his house project, I was like, hey, I noticed from your talk. Because sometimes it takes some people to just, look at the fact that it belongs to me. Look, and that is nature's call. Yoruba law or a pani government to go. That's where hunger becomes a weapon.
Absolutely.
And to be truthful, when that becomes a weapon, people are reduced to the minimest what you can call human being. You want to survive. You don't even bother about where we go. That is a very, very hard, and and that is one of those things that I don't even like about the situation of our country. Well, that aside, I also want to call our attention to international observations, like the current Prime Minister of Finland, Sanna Marin, she's 34. We can see France, all these young people, amazing people stepping into the scenario, and the nation didn't crumble, the nation didn't fall. They are doing well. They are old people. What are the old people doing? They are taking a seat back, 2 steps back. They can actually act like statesman, advisor. I don't believe that those Macron are not even going to some houses, to some personalities, take some advice. I don't believe it. As a political icon, you know what I'm talking about, Prime Minister. You know that they'll but when
there'll always be of advisors as well. So.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know that. I just feel this not too young to rule is more like something they just gave Nigerian youth. I hope they gave, but at the back corridor they are laughing to stupor. That do you really think it's just like you gave an hungry person the right that you can come and be having evening chill out at Aso Rock. Someone who doesn't have clothes, doesn't have transport here, live in Katsina and all. So it's like a dead on arrival. That's why I asked the question. But I don't want to judge. So I'm going to ask the last question now because I have some questions here. But the last question I'm going to ask now should be our wrap up, and both of you will actually dwell on that question. And it's a question I'm always asking every guest on board. So when you jump on them, Prime Minister will be the one to wrap it up. The question is, what is the projection into the possibilities of future of not too long to go? Are we going to?
Yeah, thank you. I like that question. I like that question because I was about to even tackle you when you are saying not too young to run. It's like a dead on arrival. So let me give it to you, boss. Small. You see, when bills are being pushed, there's nothing in Nigeria that we have ever pushed for that doesn't have positivity and the negativity. And there's nothing that does not have advantages and disadvantages, which is why, as I'm monitoring even the chat box, I quite agree with Mr. Adebanjo Tilayi on some point, and Mr. Oluwafolahanmi as well. So, brilliant conversation, outputs, and ideas. Before we had Not Too Young to Run, was there people like Fakorede occupying commissioner post? Was there people like these young lady that was appointed as the president commissioner? Was there 24 or 25-year-old person appointed as commissioner in Kwara? Was there the youngest member of the House of Assembly Parliament, Kukaya Shitu, from Owodi Onire constituency, that was elected into office at the age of 25? She was a tailor. So that is what's going to tell you that, well, we have not gotten here. But sincerely, nothing young to run is changing the system. It's changing the orientation. I don't mean, you know, our youth before the Not Too Young to Run campaign has never thought that, oh, Tibati to 40 years old, oh, I will not be involved in politics, or Tibati the $1 million, oh, I won't be involved in politics. If for anything, it has changed our orientation as young person. Local government elections are happening across different states now. Even though some of them are jokers, but we still see some young person that are interested in contesting for councillorship and local government chairmanship. What the Not Too Young to Run has done is to change that stereotype and as well create that awareness to make sure that young persons start believing in themselves, that either you are competent or you have the capacity or you have the character. So the future of Not Too Young to Run is multifaceted, if I'm going to answer that question. The onus lies on us here as young person. Can we start crowdfunding and funding young person that has the competency, capacity, and character, who has the integrity needed for us to get some of these things done, even though they might not really have that big money? For example, I look forward to a time that the Mathew will be contesting for House of Assembly or House of Rep, or when Prime Minister will be contesting, or where Adiba Jesilai or Olufola will be contesting, and he or she will be doing a crowdfunding online to say, even from my own widow's mite, I might not be from your state, I might not be from Oyo, I might not be from Ogun, but this is my widow mite of 10,000 naira as a seed investment into your project to assist you while going. Because you will agree with me, we may disagree, but again, I'm saying, for you to be able to win in elections in Nigeria, it requires a lot of things, which money is involved. You print t-shirts, you print face cap, you do logistics. You move from one point to another to do campaign as well.
Generally, elections, it is like that.
Elections involve a lot of funding. So that's one side. The second side as well is to be a part of this process from the onset, from the grassroots community as well. Even if it's just lesson teacher that you can do, start from it. Which is why I like the example that Prime Minister gave, that there are some people that he has helped today. They are across different globe and they are doing something for themselves. One way or the other, their psychology will remember, like a Prime Minister, you look at my school, 2,000 naira or 3,000 naira cannot solve the problem or the reward of what he has done at that time. As small as doing community coaching in your local government, say, okay, let me teach them mathematics and English during this holiday. It's something that will remain ever indelible in the memory of some people. Your would-be voters at that time or their parents would know it for good. It's quite understandable that some people might not appreciate it. But out of 10, there's a likelihood that you'll get 5. You have gotten somewhere as well. Then let us attend conferences, fellowship, like the one we both attended in Egypt as well. Through that, if I had not attended fellowships or conferences like that, I wouldn't have known who Dimeju is. I wouldn't have known that giant guy who is an author and making waves for himself and stay humble at it. If not for this event as well, I wouldn't have met another brother in Oyo now, Prime Minister. So let's attend interactive gathering that we could learn. That doesn't really mean those who want to club should not club or do their kisha or their smoking or drinking. Of course, it's all part of life. But let's be a part of, intellectual gathering where, we could network with other like-minded so that when opportunity comes as well, people will be able to recommend us for some of these things. Then the reason why, of course, I see future with Not Too Young to Run is, for example, and apologies to the obedient, to God who made me, I never expected that P2B would pull that number of votes he did in 2023 general election. Majority of those who voted for him as well were the audiences he garnered from social media and those who pushed for him. To be honest, I was just saying, it's just one like those guys that would do 1 million votes. He even gave PDP tough time, to be honest. It was just less than 2 million that even the largest party in Africa that pride itself as the People's Democratic Party had more than the so-called obedience.
Who made the party to lose?
That's it. So it really shows when young people come together, when we do a lot of things together, sincerely, it's a strong signal. And today, either you like it or not, the federal government is cleared of the obedience movement. That's the bitter truth. So they have been able to amass that number. If they're able to build on it again for the next political dispensation, I bet you by 2021 they might determine who win the elections in Nigeria. And majority of those who contribute to that are young people. which really shows us that, not too young to run is not all in one. It's something that we have started. It's something that others will, build on for us to have a sustainable economic development. So, and I also want to tell our people, being involved in politics or being involved in community development. Some people are even involved in community development without the goal of contesting for political posts, to be honest. So we've got to invest in ourselves as social entrepreneur, as community activists, as young Democrats, as development advocates. Let's look for ways through which the community where we came from, we do things in our own little way to ensure the upliftment of that community. And let's continue to pray for this country. I quite understand some of us may want to jackpot, which is quite okay. Nobody is against that. But please, like an American, we always do. Let's say God bless Nigeria. We all have no places to call our home, unless you are like Dimeji, who has gotten a British passport, who has gotten a second home. But if you are truly in Nigeria, will never profit us, to be honest. It is when things are going on the way it's supposed to be, guiding our leaders' rights, and we playing our own part, that Nigeria will be a better place to live. I always tell people, I always include this in my prayer, that Nigerians shall continue to be great. And that's why anytime I find myself outside the country, I don't wear suits, I don't talk in, I don't do trousers, I do my agbada regalia, be proud of the Yoruba culture and the country that I come from, because I have high hope in the country that, of course, we'll still continue to maintain that giant stride in us. So as politicians, let's continue to do what is the best, and local government autonomy has come to stay. Let's assist those who get to office with policy frameworks to ensure that our money works for ourselves, and let's always continue to follow the money. Once again, I think I want to sincerely appreciate you, Mr. Dimeji, for bringing me with a big week like Prime Minister that is there. I hope one day Prime Minister will give me money to go to abroad to go and do masters too. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Let's hear Prime Minister's parting words too. Then I'll just round it up like that. So, Prime Minister, it's your flow right now. Well, what's your projection?
So I'll start on a comic note, which Okwe Gugu has ended his wrap up. Interesting enough, he answers Okwe Emi, I answer Okwe Oluwa. So I will start with saying that anyway, Prime Minister is not a money bag, and it's God will do it anyway. There are many ways and there are many parts to it. I'm so sorry. Please hold on, I'm coming. So I would like to say, I'm coming. So, apologies. So, I would like to say, number one, people that are jackpotting, I think they made you know my reservations about jackpot. And I've always told him that
there is jackpot and there is jackpot. Me, I am jackpot. I'm not jackpot.
There's also jackpot with father. Jackpot with father.
Okay. In my own, how will I put it now? In my own sentiment, I believe the West, they are doing us the biggest evil, but taking away our best brain and burying them over there. Yeah, we have people that are giant, that are supposed to be giant of industries. We have the leading brains in terms of ICT that are there doing carer job, bakery, factory, and all sorts of things. And I must say it's not good enough for my own dear. So, and it's not good for Africa. It's not good for, and so we understand this sense of survival, but for people who have now taken it, Nigerians will take things to an extreme. Africans, we see people selling their achievements to go abroad to start another achievement. So that's on a lighter note. I would say I employ young people to start participating in leadership. I'm always careful while stating it. There's a difference between participating in politics and participating in leadership. No matter what, Yoruba will say, Whatever your hands are fine doing, please do it. Be impactful about it. So that's one thing about it. Leadership, politics, they are all intertwined. We can't actually separate the two, because no matter how big you are, power is bigger than money. You know, so it's still these people, no matter, like one of my leaders who say, I can never vote during an election. I said, why? He said, I'm a professor of economics. I know how everything works. And I have just one vote and one Alumonjiri that does not even know where his next meal is coming from. He also have one vote. So the people contesting will not even bother about me. They will just, instead of looking for me, my own one vote, they will just go after 500 Alumonjiri, the uneducated votes, you know. And I have always encouraged him with he's doing now. He has written a book. He's a big man when it comes to the petroleum industry. He wrote a book, Reversing the Rot in Nigeria. That's Mr. Olusegun Oyegbami. So what I'll just say rounding up is that not you going to run is in place and is running already. All what we just need to do is to ensure that we back it with full force, and we ensure that, like you said, the crowdfunding of a thing, when we have a credible person coming up, it's not about popularity, it's not about publicity. I've always noticed that, and there are people around me that can testify to it. When I want to engage ants, I always tell people, I don't go to people that the most mentioned. And this is the most mentioned, because oftentimes is the Romitonjo. People doing the work are not even the one you've been seeing. You understand? So if you understand branding and you understand communication, so the whole idea is just that by the grace of God, we are going to where we started already. Nigeria independence, how old is Nigeria as a country? So when people compare Nigeria with some other country, I look at it that they've had their own trial time. You understand? They have their own trial time. And whether we like it or not, it's our responsibility to make this country a better place for ourselves or the generation coming on board. You understand? So the digital life, the Facebook monetization, everything the West are bringing to distract us from the real issues. You know, I was telling Dimeji 2 days ago that everybody is now a content creator. Nobody even care about what the government is doing. We are planning protests now. People will be waiting that they should bring money for them to tweet about the protest.
And BB Nigeria is even about to.
They say,
distraction.
What's it called? So the West, they've already created that distraction for us that, okay, if you people cannot govern yourself well, let's see how we have every potential which Gaddafi recognized as Africans to be the world power. You know, we have the human resources, which is power. We have the human power. We have the natural resources. We have the money. I don't know how rich these people are, but they rely on Africa. You know, they've actually ensured that they monopolize us. They distract us. That bad leadership will always be the disease they've infected us with, and so far they can sustain it, we won't be able to agree, and it's already it rests on our shoulder. At 80 now, people that are 70 and above, they are not talking about Nigeria again. They are mounting their health. So hopefully by the grace of God, we are going to get there. We should just keep our finger crossed and
all right.
know that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate both speakers, and I just want to say it's been a wonderful time with you guys. intelligent conversation, intelligent section. And next Sunday, we'll have another intellectual fellowship on Street and Cathedral. Just watch out for the topic on my platform. Thank you very much, Prime Minister, and thank you also, Opeyemi Google. This is me saying, bye for now, and I appreciate the whole conversation. So not too long to run is already running. Join the race. All right, and cheers.
Yeah, cheers.